So my brothers and sisters, I am a dragon witch and I worship dragons. To be very honest, I worship dragon gods. And how do I view dragon gods? How do actually dragon witches see dragon gods? Dragon gods are not at all like viewed like in religions. In religions, they always have to pray and kneel down because they are lesser than the dragon gods. Well, dragon witches actually don't see themselves as lesser as the dragon gods, but on equal level. But that nonetheless, they love them very much and also see that the dragon gods loves you so very much. The reason for that is totally different than in religions, that they are the creators and they pull the strings. No, dragon gods are much more like a parent to them. A parent, a father or a mother, or actually that is very close to them. And for this reason, dragon witches love their dragon gods so much. And also, for example, dragons by their side are being actually ascended by the dragon gods themselves so that they can watch over you. So you are actually born in this world that you are actually don't belong in. You don't belong in this world. You don't belong even in this skin. You don't actually belong here. And that is the reason, but you have to experience this. You have to, and that is the reason why I consider my dragon awakening, or your dragon awakening, not as a dragon experience, but as, this entire life is actually a human experience within your dragon soul. Your spirit needs to know what it is to be physical in this world as a human being. And that is also the reason why your dragons are still by your side. They never leave you alone. Even though sometimes I feel alone, I feel alone quite a lot. And that is also why a lot of us, actually the majority of dragon witches, feel so alone in this world, because they don't belong here. And every single dragon god has, their own vision of your dragon's path, their own architect, you can say, their own architecture, that your entire path is being written by your dragon gods, and that your dragon guardian knows about that path. But you are still in the dark, you don't know actually where to go. And this is going to be one big chaos, where you have to go. It's one big confusing moment that you have, one big confusing life, actually, that you don't know where to go. And that is typically in the dragon's path. You don't know where to go. It's not a religion where you have to. No, you can do whatever you want. Everything is open. This is an open world. So whatever you do, it's your decision. But you are always going to be guided by your dragons by your side. And one of them dragons can be seen as your dragon gods. Dragon gods, every single one of them is going to be different. Every single and as well your dragon guardian, for example, also in the mixture with your dragon god, is always going to make your dragon circle different. Your dragon eye, your circle with the dragons surrounding you, is always going to be different from another. So it's always going to be unique. But speaking of uniqueness, every single dragon god, that is why I call you a child of the dragon. You are nothing less than a child of the dragon. A child of the dragon that is not at all home. That you are actually far from home. And every single dragon god has their own children. And they also have their specific characters. Specific, mindset that they have. If Tiamat, for example, or if Fafnir, or if Leviathan is the closest one to you, your architecture of your dragon's path, you are going to be much more like, for example, Leviathan. You are going to be much more like Tiamat. You are going to be much more like Quetzalcoatl. You are going to be much more like them. And people might see you as weird, or see you as some kind of bad omen or whatever, see you as an outcast. But in fact, you are nothing less than the child of the dragon gods. And that is why we don't have to see them as, no, you have to see them as equal level. Even though your face doesn't say that you are a dragon, but your spirit is, and your spirit has this experience. You don't need to worship anything or anyone. The only reason why I worship them is because sometimes I feel alone. Sometimes I feel very much alone, and sometimes I want to be close to them. I want to know that they are there. The reason why I do dragon witchcraft. And how do you do dragon witchcraft? You do it with your mind. Speaking of which, that is the reason why a week ago, I encountered someone, someone on the dragon's path, and he was very empty. He doesn't know who his dragon god is, who his dragon guardian is. He doesn't know actually anything. And that is okay. You don't need to know anything or everything at once. You just figure this out over the years on your dragon's path. And he as well. But he had an energy, an aura that I never felt before. I felt this before, but not with a person. It was different. And also the way he speaks, the way he does everything, the way he encounters me, it was unlike I've seen before. Of course, I've seen it before, but not with a human. Many years ago, I had an encounter with Lucifer. It was a dragon that I had in my visions and dreams. And he was a very beautiful dragon that was very wise, ancient, and stood in the dark. And he told me all about my life, all about the things that are about to happen, things that you cannot lie about. He was very majestic, very beautiful. And of course, even though humanity sees him like some kind of a devil, well, in my eyes, he was much more closer to godlike, very much godlike, and he was a very beautiful dragon. And he told me a lot of wisdom. And the way he said the things to me, that reminded me all to this person that I've met last week. In fact, my hair stood up once he was talking to me. And he talks with the same elegance, with the same motion, with the same everything, that I was so much surprised and said in myself, because I was actually afraid to tell him, is this a child of Lucifer? Is this Lucifer's child? Because I encountered people from Tiamat, from Leviathan, from all of them, but this was the first time that I've encountered someone with the same elegance, children of, now I learned from this, children of Lucifer. Children of Lucifer are very into themselves, even though they sit in the dark, but they emit a lot of light. They emit so much light, they are very compassionate, they are very wise, and they are, oh my goddess, actually I was looking up to him. I was looking up to him like he knows so much more, but he doesn't even realize this. And Lucifer is not a dragon god that loves that you immediately know what kind of dragon god you have by your side. No, he doesn't know it. He was on the dragon's path for so many years, and he doesn't even know it, who actually is the architect of his dragon's path. But I knew what I saw, and that was Lucifer's path. Lucifer's child. You can say the seed of Lucifer. If people knew this, you know how heavily demonized Lucifer is in this world by humans, they would be afraid of him, because he is the child of it. He's the son of Lucifer. Even though Lucifer, it's not even his. He had many names. He had many names, but it was a name that he introduced himself so that I knew who he was. He was very elegant, and that is sometimes that is something that I actually want to recommend to you, my brothers and sisters. Know who your dragon god is. It's so important to know who your dragon god. It's not easy to know that, because sometimes we just, like I said, it's an open world. We don't know where to look at. Who are we, in fact? But in fact, you can all figure it out, because you are a child of the dragon. But you just need to figure out who is the dragon. Who is the dragon who made you? Who is the dragon, the architect of your dragon's path? And who made your dragon spirit? Who is the one looking over you? You have all the characteristics of your dragon god. You have all, the emotions, you have all the powers, you have all the energies, you have all the aura, all surrounding you from a dragon god, even the dragon by your side, but especially the dragon god who has made you and your path as well. And it's so damn important to know who that is. And you can figure it out by looking at yourself. Who is your character? Who are you? What kind of a character you are? Leviathan, for example, is dark but light. Leviathan and Tiamat is compassionate but very strict. Fafnir is very, very, also very strict, but also, you can figure this out. I made videos about this if you want to look over them. So, but in fact, dragon gods are the architect of your dragon's path, and it's very important to know who that is. And it might as well be Lucifer. Lucifer is not not at all a devil. Lucifer is much more closer to God, to the God that you are just on equal level with. My brothers and sisters, be blessed.